Hello everyone, welcome to the second episode of The Talks. Today we have a special guest. He is a teacher at Basis for Honors English Literature, and he is an expert in the field of teaching, and today he'll be talking about the future of teaching. Please welcome Mr. Vermouth.
Okay, I am Mr. Vermouth. I was asked to talk for a little bit about something to do with the future, and so I'm going to talk about what I care about, which is the future of education. When talking about the future of education, I think it's a good idea to start with the past of education, to set up maybe what is a problem. Not the problem, but a problem. So looking at the past of education, we'll kind of focus on America because that's where we are, and it's easier that way to fit us into a bubble. Education serves or has served historically two basic purposes and has therefore been split into two basic divisions. We have on the one hand the fact that people need knowledge. We need to know how to do things and what to do. This could simply be described as the way that we progress as a species. And in modern human times, this has been labeled as kind of the sciences and math. So, the fields that push us forward, that allow us to invent things, to build things, to create things, to work, to have a moving society as humans. On the other hand, we've also viewed education as a way to teach young people morals. Things like why you should think the way you do, how you should think, what kinds of values you should share with others. We think of this as what we call the humanities. Things like history, English literature, it started as the classics, right? Philosophy, the arts, entertainment, music. Another way to think of these is kind of the philosophical division between Enlightenment concepts, like science, math, reasoning, logic, and romantic concepts, so values, belief systems, empathy, that sort of philosophical side. We've always needed those two things, and in a society like America, we've needed those for a few reasons. Primarily, we want to move forward. We are capitalist, we are progressive, we want to build things, we want to have jobs for people to work at, so we teach our children how to do something, how to do science, math, all of that, because they need job skills. On the other hand, we are a democracy, we need people to vote, and we want them to vote intelligently. So we have to teach them how to think critically. We have to teach them how to be creative, how to have values, and how to judge the values of others. So we teach them the humanities. And these things have gone hand in hand historically. Now, over time, a culture like America becomes specialized. In a capitalist society, you get specialization. Think of the way in which jobs become more and more specific, and they need more specific skills. So over time, what starts to happen is you need, the view of education starts to be that it is a place to train workers. Education becomes a place to teach our children how to be working adults. And as this happens in a specialized society, there is no more need, or there's less need for creative thought or cultural lessons, because realistically, what we want to do is train workers, and all they need are skills. So what you end up with is an education system that values skills over creative thought processes. Think of, for example, the novel Brave New World, in which all of a sudden people don't need to think critically. We don't need philosophy because in that book it's provided, but here it doesn't help you make money, right? And we are driven financially. So in schools, what happens? We start to think of these sciences as more important, and because we're financial as a culture, Mr. Wolf, we start to invest in these things. We see investing in science, technology, engineering, and math, what are traditionally called the STEM subjects. On the other hand, we need to take away money to put money into these fields, so we take it away from the humanities, most specifically the arts, music, dance, the sorts of things that don't seem to have as much financial value. I mean, this is 2016, how much money does a poet or an artist make? Not that much, unless you're a famous musician like Justin Bieber. So you end up with these classes being stripped from schools, teachers being taken away, supplies being taken away to buy better computers, better math teachers, etc. Eventually, what you could end up with, and what we have been moving toward, is a culture in which students come out of schools able to recite information and share knowledge, but unable to create new knowledge themselves because they can't think creatively. And so what you have is generations coming up of students who can do a job but cannot challenge what is normal. And if they can't challenge what is normal, they're not creating new ideas. And without creation of new ideas, we become stagnant. We lose the ability to think outside the box. So we end up with what we would think of as a society of like worker drones. People who have no motivation beyond getting a job done for some money and no abilities or knowledge beyond how to do this job. What this could end up with is a culture in which people are voting, for example, in a democracy without a real understanding of values or of philosophy. And so they're not thinking critically about what's being presented. They're voting based on simple economics, which can be catastrophic. So what is the solution? What is the future? Where does education go from here? On the one hand, some would say the internet, right? The internet can teach us all we need to know. We don't really even need teachers anymore. I personally disagree with that because the internet doesn't teach some things that school does. The internet doesn't teach social skills. The internet doesn't teach you how to interact with people because you're not practicing it. And the internet has a limit.
Please come to the front.
Eventually, what's going to happen, if it hasn't happened already, is that we're going to start to realize the need for creativity, the need for people who can think in ways that others have no concept of, the people who can think of something that has never been invented or made. We need that. Hopefully, what this can lead to is an investment in the schools, in the part of the school systems that values this creativity. You can see this already a little bit if you look at startup companies. Startup companies are kind of famous right now for having unique workspaces that aren't traditional. You don't see newer companies making cubicle farms, as we used to call them, right? You see them valuing the idea that people can break out of a certain box. But we need to train students on how to do that. It's not enough to just say, look at this pretty space, try not to be distracted, and make something new. We need to teach students how to make something new. So as schools, we need to find our balance again, right? How do we balance the knowledge that people need to succeed in this world with the ability to create new knowledge? We need to be investing in creative teachers, and we need to be investing in creative classes. In kind of an actual how it might work, what we really need is students who can solve problems creatively. Problems that arise in their technology class, problems that arise in their engineering class, they really need to be pairing these problems with new ways of solving them. We need teachers who can show students not how to apply an algorithm to a set problem, but how to create their own algorithm. And that's hard to find, right? What it might mean is that instead of having teachers stand up in front of a class and lecture and hope that everybody kind of absorbs information, it means that the teacher gives projects. And this teacher has to be okay with every project result being different. But different isn't always bad. Another way that we can see a potential way to address this problem is having paired teaching with subjects that really are not in the same field. What would it look like if the biology teacher and the literature teacher taught class together, right? If we taught the biology of Frankenstein while we taught the morals of science. What would it look like if we had art combining with engineering, right? And teaching children not just how to draw plans on AutoCAD, but how to truly think of something that has never been invented. Or to teach students how to write poems while writing code. This is balance. This is what education is meant to be, because this is who we need to create as future adults. That's all I have for today. Like I said, my name is Mr. Vermouth, and that's how I see the future of education. Thanks.
Thank you for watching our YouTube video. If you did enjoy it, please subscribe to our YouTube channel right here. If you did not, click this button. It'll make you feel better. Seriously.